Now you see me, now you don't. Peekaboo, yes. Hi everyone, it's Melissa, your plantita abogada here at Tasteful Nodes, coming to you today with a Horti Filipina haul episode. There are 3 parts. You're just gonna have to find all 3 of them, right? It was a great plant event, and that's why I have 3 episodes, because that's how big my haul was. In any case, today's episode is going to cover the plant hauls from Grow with Grace and AH Hoyas. So if you're into Hoyas, this is your episode. Before we get started, I'd like to run through my 3 disclaimers really quickly, just because we've got some great Hoyas in this episode, and fair warning, watch at your own risk. 1. KKB tayo, kanya-kanyang bayad. For Westerner friends, that means we each pay our own way. Like I said, great plants, a wide range of prices, but when you put them all together, it could be a little hefty, I guess, depending on budget. So watch and list and buy when it's safe to do so. I do not recommend spending your rent money, okay? Number 2, I'm an attorney by profession. I'm not a botanist, I'm not a scientist. So any factual information that I do share with you, I'll be sure to put the source at the bottom of the screen. Any non-factual information I share with you, such as my opinions, do take that with a grain of salt, okay? And then number 3, because I'm not an expert, I would suggest that you find the people in your area who are experts. These are the people you could turn to when you have questions about care, pests, if you're looking for a particular plant that I have here, where you could find them, how much pricing goes, that kind of thing. Aside from them being a wealth of information for you in your particular area, it's always nice to have a new plant friend. Now that we've got those 3 disclaimers out of the way, these plants, I have my handy laptop with me because I have everything listed down. These plants are mixed based on alphabetical order. I'll go ahead and let you know where I got it from, but do know that we're going to go through this A through U. We've got 16 plants on the list, and I'd like to jump right in. So the first plant on my list is an AH 1011, and this is from AH Hoya. And let's go pull it out of its packaging real quick so you can see what the attraction is. I'm getting excited just looking at it all over again. Look at this leaf. And this leaf. Right? It's just so massive. I don't know if this is how big this plant gets. I mean, how big the leaves get, but I'm excited to find out. It is a plant of unknown parentage, but I have here, it's suspected to be a hybrid of Hoya latifolia, Sarawak, and of Hoya pacharawalai. So that's Icensis. The flowers of this plant are a light peach pink with a deeper pink white flower in the middle. I need to find out my terminology for Hoyas, but you get the idea. There isn't much information about it online, and I wasn't planning on getting it. In fact, it wasn't on my list of things to get today. But man, I saw it and I had to have it. So the leaves are hard. You've got these lobes, I guess. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 lobes across, a midrib, and then you have the secondary veins going through. It's just a very pleasing plant. The undersides, nothing to report. It would be interesting to see if the growth pattern continues fanned out like this. In any case, I will keep everyone posted. I will need to get the moss a little moist because it feels a little bit dry. So we'll be doing that tonight after we film this episode. So that's plant number 1, the AH 1011. Plant number 2 on my list is AH Battleground. And that is this massive dude. Yeah. So the vine is a purplish, purple in color, woody as it gets older. Of course, the newer parts are what you see the color on. The leaves themselves are stiff, much stiffer than the AH 1011. You do have this pleasing midrib. I mean, you could see a secondary rib, but it's less, it's more like embossed rather than obvious. So you've got this line going through the leaves of the Battleground. It's really, really gorgeous. Again, I like my leaves darker and big. And with the Battleground, another plant that I was not planning to get, it wasn't on the list, but I saw it in person and I wanted it. I have a feeling that with the right amount of light, I'm guessing, this will get only darker. Really nice. Really pretty. And that, my friends, is Hoya AH Battleground. I don't have any information on it. Sadness. The next Hoya on my list is the Hoya Black Magic. And that is this guy right here. Yay. Yeah, Lorraine got this for me. She got it at AH Hoya. Thank you for repotting, Lorraine. You're the best. So Black Magic, the leaves get really dark. They're stiff. They kind of remind me of how stiff the Battleground is. But this one, the veins are a bit more prominent. And it is a darker leaf compared to the Battleground. Oh, the Battleground is also rounder, and I'll go ahead and put a side by side so you can see what I'm talking about. It will be a darker leafed Hoya, but when you look at the rib, the midrib, and the secondary veins, they're a brighter green compared to the darker purple or black base that you see of the Black Magic. So I think that's definitely its selling point. Yeah, that's all I have in my notes. But for its nice dark leaves, I'm not hard to please, okay? Very little criteria. Has to be interesting, has to have nice flowers, has to have big leaves. I prefer big leaves, but man, those small leaves will start, catching up on you when you watch enough Grow with Grace. And speaking of Grow with Grace, the next plant is from her. That would be a Hoya Carnosa Purple Pride. And it's this gorgeous propagation right here. We've got variegation on the outer margins of the leaf. I mean, what do I have here? The new growth for this plant starts pink and then it turns a darker red. It might have some darker purple tones in it. And then after that, it turns this green that we see here. Now, can you imagine that darker purple with white variegation? I'm imagining that's probably going to turn out pink. Really, really nice. The blooms are supposed to be hairy. They're supposed to be a light, sweet fragrance. Thank you, Lorraine from Grow with Grace. Check her out on YouTube. She's got her Hoya videos as well as her Anthurium videos. She is definitely an influence. I tease her that all the time. Whether it's good or bad depends on if you're my wallet or my bank account. The next plant on my list is the Hoya Compacta Inner Variegated. Well, I have a variegated compacta, and you can't differentiate where the variegations would be, really. With this one, you see the variegations in the center. You have the green on the outer parts of the leaves, and it's pretty stable in that aspect. Green on the outside. So I'm a sucker for Hoya Compacta ever since I got my first one and it flowered on me, and it's just an amazing plant. I really like it. It's unique because of the curly leaves and also because of how it grows out in those long strands of curly leaves. Really nice. So when I saw that, or actually when Lorraine pointed out, hey, it's an inner variegated, I'm like, oh. So this is my sub collection of Hoyas. So the next plant on my list is a Hoya gigas. It would be this guy right here. When you touch it, the first thing that you'll notice is that the leaves are so much softer compared to the Battleground, compared to the Black Magic, compared to the AH 1011. I mean, just soft, soft, bendy. And then you've got this hairiness on it, this velvety feel to it. It's just so pleasing. And if you're a person who digs textures, if you're the person who goes to stores and has to touch all the clothes because you like to feel what they feel like, this is the Hoya for you. Now, the reason I bought this, aside from the fact that they were having an insane deal, it was buy 10 and get 3 free. And at that point, I already had 5 that I wanted. So I was like, I could do another 5. Challenge accepted. It was actually another 8. And it started getting harder when I had like 2 or 3 more left to choose. Anyway, with this one, even the stem has that same velvety feel. Yeah. As the stem gets older, the velvety feel goes away, but as you get closer to the newer growth, it's very much there. The reason I chose this is because of its massive flower. So, gosh, I can't remember her name. Is it Nata or Nada? Yeah, she was the one who actually helped me out, and she was like, look at this flower. Show me a picture of it. I'm like, sold. I'm taking that. I have no regrets. I like plants where if they're not even in bloom, you still have something nice to look at. That's why I guess I like the really interesting looking leaves, because plants, Hoyas especially, are not always going to be in bloom. So there has to be something else that would catch your eye, that would keep you interested. And this Hoya with its fuzzy leaves and stem definitely fit that bill. I have here in my notes that Royal Botanic Gardens Kew notes that the native range for this is New Guinea, and it grows in a wet tropical biome. So yay, we can take care of that here. We are at number 6 out of 16, so just 10 more to go. The next plant on my list is Hoya incrustata. This is Hoya incrustata, and it's variegated. It just says variegated on the tag, but when you have a closer look at it, it's actually an inner variegated plant again as well. Now, I just got one recently from Edsel, and if you watch that episode, you'll see the inner variegation. But this is interesting because the older leaves are a little bit wider. You know, it's got that really interesting looking, I guess, variegation. But the newer leaves, that's where I got a little bit hooked. The newer leaves are narrower, as you can see here, right? But not only that, we've got a complete elbow, and instead of an inner variegated plant, we have some outer variegation as well. So like I said about the inner variegated compacta, I don't know what it is, but I do like collecting certain kinds of plants and their cultivars. So I guess I'll have to wait and see how this turns out. I have a feeling that it is just variegated and not inner variegated. And if that's the case, I'll have 2 incrustatas, Philippine natives, which are variegated and which has 1, 2, 3, 4 growth points. So imagine this bushy and lush. Oh my goodness, be still my heart. I'm so excited. We do have this lacunosa, which is called a Lacunosa Asami Wanosobo. This is my friend Grow with Grace. This is one of her sub-collection plants. We joke about it, that, oh, we've got sub-collections within the collection of plants we like to collect. Yeah, we all have biases, right? And this is hers. Hers is the Lacunosa bias. So anything Hoya Lacunosa, she loves them, and I can't blame her. I mean, they're really, really nice. Really cute variegations here. But tell me more. So, you know, there's definitely a texture thing to it, a texture component to it. The leaves were smaller. I don't know why the newer leaves look bigger, but they are. they've lost some of that texture that the younger leaves had, but it's still there. I'm just wondering if, the texture will change when it hardens. In any case, the new leaves are even better variegated than the old leaves. So what gives? What I have in my notes is that there is also a Hoya lacunosa Asami, but from what I've been able to gather, I'm just reading what I put in my notes, from discussion boards and comment sections online, is that Asami and Asami Wonosobo are different plants. Although they appear close in color and with the flowers, it is generally accepted online that Asami Wonosobo's variegation is more stable. So that's the only difference. Oh, no, I take that back. Actually, I also looked it up to see where they're supposed to be from, and Wonosobo is supposed to be a town in central Java. So if they were specific enough to note that one of the Lacunosa Asamis is from Wonosobo, then that would imply that the other one isn't. Again, there are two differences. So one is that out of the two Asamis, the Asami Wonosobo has the more stable variegation. And number two, the Wonosobo is probably specific to Wonosobo itself rather than to wherever the other Lacunosa Asami is from. Yay! That was a lot, but worth it. And this one I got from Grow with Grace as well. Time to look through my AH Hoya bag. And let's see what I got here. Yeah, this is the one. The next plant on the list is Hoya LP006. What I have here, and these are the only notes that I do have, is that the LP006 is a hybrid of Hoya erythrina and Hoya caudata. If you look at these leaves, very, very interesting. The leaves has a speckling on it, which, is also something that you see in caudata. They're soft leaves, but they're also rounder in shape, so I don't even know where this plant is going. I got it for a reason. Why did I get this plant? Why did you get this smell? Yeah, that's why you got it. Because you liked what the leaves looked like. You start to see these, usually it's the midrib that's really prominent, but in this plant, what's really prominent are the secondary veins on the side. And you'll see that in other plants that are online. What I also do see in other plants online is that this plant seems to take sun stress really well. And it comes out this beautiful greenish brown or greenish red. So that's another thing to look forward to. The leaves are not as soft as, let's say, a gigas is, but they're not as hard as like the Black Magic or the 1011. It's definitely an interesting plant, and it's going to look great on a trellis. I can already see it. I mean, I guess it could look great on me too. Let's put you there. And let's get back to my list. Number 10 on my list. Never heard of it before today. I did leave Hoyas a little bit. And I did leave plants in general. I still do have a cactus and succulent affection, I guess. I do love Syndapsis still, but Hoyas are definitely love as well. And this, my friends, is a Hoya Misty, M-I-S-T-I-E. Yeah, such a great looking Hoya. The leaves are stiff. So you've got these kind of wavy edges at the end. Yeah, check that out, right? So Misty is a hybrid of Erythrina and an unknown Hoya. And let's see. It supposedly has a tendency to put out new leaves that get people worried. This is according to a few posts that I've seen online, including one from Vermont Hoyas, where they call it chlorotic. So what I've read is that this occurs especially with newer leaves. The newer leaves tend to be yellowish. Here we go. Check it out compared to the letters on my shirt, it is a little lighter. And if you compare it to the rest of the leaves compared to the letters on my shirt, these are darker. So I guess that does get people a little worried that what's going on with my plant? Why is it putting out lighter leaves, chlorotic leaves? Is this thing gonna die on me? Well, apparently not. Apparently that's its thing, you know. Maybe it's not the best plant for people who panic, but if this turns into this, I'm down. I'm willing to go through it all. So looking at the older leaves of the Misty, you've got these black veins on a dark green base. Not as dark as, let's say, the 1011 or the Black Magic, of course not. But it's darker compared to the newer leaf. So a darker veins against the older leaf. Really nice contrast too. And its growing pattern is really, really gorgeous. So it looks like I've got 2 vines that it's growing from, and this is what it looks like. Love it. Looks fan-shaped almost, really pretty. Next plant on my list is this one right here. This one is called a Hoya obscura albo marginata. Let's go over some terminology really quickly. I have here that albo marginata refers to a white margin plant, albus meaning white, and marginatus meaning a border. I'm not sure which part of the plant that refers to because I do see some variegation on these leaves, but it doesn't look like it's completely around the entire leaf, so it can't really be an entire border, but it is on the sides. So maybe that, maybe the flower. Have not looked into it. I do have here that obscura is another Philippine native. The flowers are gorgeous and are also supposed to smell good. And I'll find you where I got that information from in case you wanted to check out more information on your Hoya obscura albo marginata. So the leaves are stiff, they're crinkled, there's some variegation on it. Very interesting plant, gorgeous. And it's an AH Hoya that I shared with Lorraine. So we co-parented this one. Okay, so we are going on to our next one, and it is number 12 on our list. This is a Hoya publicalis albo marginata. Remember what I said earlier about terminology? Let's grab this one, get it out of there. So albo marginata refers to a white margin around something. This one is a lot more obvious than the obscura is. So we've got the white going around the leaves. Yay. I'll get a close-up for you, but I think it's very obvious that we've got a white margin on these leaves. It's such an attractive plant. You've got this vine that is purple or red, and then you've got these decorative leaves. There does seem to appear some splashing, so I don't know if there's a publicalis splash, but either way, this is going to be a stunner whether or not it gives me flowers, or until it gives me flowers at least. The next plant on my list, lucky number 13, is a Hoya Puum Siam Ruby. This is one of Grace's propagations, Lorraine's propagation, Lorraine Grace. And it's a really pretty plant. Looky here, I do see subtle veins on the plant. It's a stiff leaf. Nothing much to report about underneath, whereas the obscura albo marginata had a white margin. This actually has a violet margin around it. So really attractive. I have here that the Puum Siam Ruby is also known as PMP 176. So what I have here is that it is a Thai hybrid from a Hoya Joy and a Hoya Jennifer. And I'll see if I could put those 2 parents on the screen for you. It has thick leathery green leaves. Yep, said that earlier, it is thicker. It often features dark borders, and that's what I see here. My leaf looks like it is surrounded by a violet or dark purple border. Oh, So new growth is actually a dark red or a bronze. So yeah, so much winning all over the place with this. Love it. This one again is from Grow with Grace. I was teasing Lorraine about this, and because aside from the fact that she loves lacunosas, she also loves small leafed Hoyas. So when I saw this one, I'm like, this came from you? I didn't know. The next plant is Hoya Sarawak, or at least that's what it was sold to her as. So maybe check this out. Right. It's huge. I love large leaves. Lorraine, not so much. She prefers the smaller leaves because, I mean, and she does have a great reason. She has limited space, so she doesn't want plants that take up a lot of space. But she said the flowers are chef's kiss, and that's what she was really after. I don't have any information about this, but don't forget I think it was the 1011, or maybe it was the Battleground. Either way, one of those, I suspect it's the 1011, is supposed to be a hybrid of Sarawak. So let's have a look-see and compare these guys. Maybe. This isn't as puffy lobed as the 1011 is, but the texture and the feel of the leaves, it's definitely possible. This is definitely stiff, definitely leathery. The veins are very, very embossed. It's very obvious. Undersides, nothing to report about, but this is still something that's totally up my alley. Something I'm really excited to get. And thank you again, Lorraine. Thank you for the surprise. It's amazing. Oh man. So out of all of these, I had a parentheses next to this, a note said most wanted from AH Hoya. This is what I was looking for. This is the Furby of AH Hoya for me. You remember the Furbies back in the day where the moms would like punch it out at Toys R Us? This is that Hoya that I was willing to drag people like down to the ground for. Yeah, it just kind of brought that feeling of I must have it. Anyway, before I hype it up way too much, right? This is called a Hoya SPIV, or 4 if it's a Roman numeral, from WMZ. Mouthful, right? And let me show you why I was about ready to go to war for it. And I didn't have to, thankfully, because I think it flew under the radar, or I don't know how many they had. I'll have to check out the price list to see how many they had. Holy cow, what an amazing, amazing Hoya. When I saw that it was on the list, I reserved it immediately. Check those leaves out. Oh my goodness. Look at the contrast on this baby. Slaps the leaf and the leaf falls off. No, it's not a car. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous plant. I have here, oh yeah, okay, let's do that right now. I have a note here saying, let's talk about how Hoyas are named, okay? Very important for this. And I have here, Hoya SP names are generally used for Hoyas that have been newly found or don't have any classifications, are unidentified, that kind of thing. Naming conventions for Hoyas is you could either have a Hoya SP, species, plus the location, or SP plus the collection code, which is like a collector's initials, and that's why I said it could be IV if there's a collector out there with the name IV. Not sure. There are other ways to name Hoyas, but the first two really, really matter because the first two was Hoya SP plus location or Hoya plus collector's name. Now, in order to solve this puzzle, what is WMZ? WMZ, according to Vermont Hoya, is an abbreviation for Welsh Mountain Zoo. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Zoo. Welsh Mountain Zoo, WMZ. It is a zoo that has 37 acres of botanical garden in Northern Wales, United Kingdom. It houses plants from all over the world, this is a direct quote, and has a number of unique Hoyas in the collection. That kind of gives us a piece of the puzzle where it's from, what the WMZ is. So we know it's a Hoya species from the WMZ location, which is Welsh Mountain Zoo. The IV isn't as clear yet. IV could be the person who collected it there, or it could be the fourth unclassified, unidentified species of Hoya at the WMZ. So, but yeah, naming conventions, interesting stuff. Don't mind me if I nerd out. I'm really into this stuff. So new leaves are supposed to come out a brighter red than these leaves are right now. See how dark they are? Yeah, so a brighter red of these. And then it turns darker red, like these are. Flowers of this SP have a light perfumey scent to it. The leaves are gosh, it's hard to say because I see some green speckling on this leaf, but all the other leaves are a darker red, almost like a darker maroon violet, maroon purple maybe. And then you've got these beautiful green veins that show up as like a pattern. So there's texture to it that these veins give, aside from the stiffness of the leaves and the leathery feel. So I mean, it's just so much winning. So much winning with this plant. Even without blooms, I definitely feel like I hit the jackpot getting this. Okay, I think I've run out of nice things to say about this plant. And I mean, I love it. I adore it. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Oh, wow. And we've gone through 15 plants for this episode like it was nothing. Last plant on the list is a Hoya AH 0320. This one is interesting. There are three stalks in here. And it is just, I don't know what's going on with it. It is stiff. The leaves have this beautiful midrib off of which come these secondary veins. Really nice. The color doesn't get very deep green like you've seen in other Hoyas here, but it's a nice green. And I have here that it's a hybrid. And pardon me as I say this, it's a hybrid of subquintuplinervis and something else. So even that word, subquintuplinervis, is only a suspected parent of this suspected hybrid. It is supposed to be a very easy grower and an early bloomer. So aside from the fact that I've got this beautiful plant to look at, these gorgeous leaves that are going to fill out really, really nicely, it's just going to be something that's going to be pleasing to look at. So yeah, really excited for this one. And that is it for this episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to give this video a like. Subscribe to my channel, click that notification bell so that you get notified of my future content. If the once a week videos aren't good enough for you, please, please, please follow me on Facebook. I'm there as Tasteful Nodes. I have more write-ups there, more heart-to-heart conversations. Yeah, just a chill place to be. If all you want to do is look at pretty pictures right before you go to bed at night, check me out on Instagram. I'm there as Tasteful Nodes as well. Okay, guys, that was fun. And be sure to catch the other plant haul videos. So I have 2 more in this series. Find those episodes and enjoy. Okay, guys, until next time, sa uulitin, keep your nodes classy and tasteful. Bye. Bye.